Hi, Farmer Phil here. Over the next 12 months, I'd like to bring you a vlog of my property. We're in the middle of an extreme drought here in our little farm up at Jandowae in Queensland, Australia. Whether it's to do with climate change, I don't know. But over the next 12 months, I'm going to bring you, hopefully, a weekly vlog of what's going on the farm, how we're coping with the drought, and if it does rain, some great shots of the rain. At the moment we're getting prepared to go to our big show in Brisbane, the Ekka, Brisbane Royal Show. We've got cattle in there. My brother's taken his chooks. My father's got his honey in there. So it's a time we can enjoy. But always in the back of my mind is how we're going to feed our cows. Well, this is my farm. As you can see, we're pretty dry. I've been farming here for the last 20 years and I've never seen it this bad. Whether we call it climate change, I don't know. The net result is I've got hungry cattle. In a way I'm lucky because we have green water. So my cattle aren't thirsty, they're just hungry. Not a blade of green grass anywhere. These are my last paddocks with some feed in it. All my creek, river, flat country is all basically dirt. These are my sheep and goats. We used to have a lot more, but due to the drought and predation from wild dogs, we've cut right back, and really the sheep now are enough to supply our family with food. There's 20 or so ewes and a ram, a couple of rams, and we'll probably turn over some of the old ewes, keep some of the younger ewe lambs, and maintain the numbers about this. We have to bring him into the yards for lambing so the wild dogs don't take the lambs. We do run Maremas, but they can't be everywhere, especially with the little lambs. The lambs are a bit silly, so we've just yarded them up for a few weeks while they've finished lambing. There's only a couple of ewes left to lamb out. These are our meat goats, our high ball content goats. They too are kidding. As you can see, some kids down the back. Goats are very finicky mothers and very often, especially in hard times, walk away from their kids. So we have a higher percentage of success. We always yard our goats up while they're kidding, and hopefully we can get some nice ewe kids, girl kids, doe kids, that's the word I'm looking for, doe kids, and turn over some of the older does. This fella down here, he's the sire of all our goats at the moment. He's a bit bored being in the yards. He'd rather be out running around. He wants to play. And he wants me to fight back, but I won't. It's a bad habit to teach him. There's my new young buck I bred myself. Yeah, his daddy, standing next to his daddy there. He's a really spectacular buck, this fellow, nice and wide through and great muscle capacity, and I think he's going to go on to be my sire for my goat production. We initially started breeding goats as an alternative to chemical control of weeds on the farm. We've had a go at dairy goating here, and cheese making worked very well except for the dry weather. We didn't have enough water to to clean the dairy with. And it's not just feeding the animals or watering the animals. You know, with the dairy, you've got to keep all the machinery very clean and everything. And we just didn't have the water facilities for that here. So we've stopped dairying a while ago now, but we've stopped dairying. And these are what is left of our goats. Our dairy goats, we put them to bull bucks. We also use a few feral background goats initially too. And we've got quite a good group of goats here that have got some worm resistance, which is really important with goats, especially when we're eating them. We don't want all those chemicals in them, so we've bred some resistance to our country's worms into our goats, and we have very few fatalities now through worms, and with our sheep too. We have very few fatalities with our worms. The goats at the moment are bringing a lot of money, so I wouldn't mind breeding goats. They're very difficult to fence in. These guys are pretty good. They relatively stay put. Now with the dry weather though, they are wandering a bit more, so that was another reason why they're in the yards. As soon as we get a bit of grass, we'll let them out. But at the moment they're being fed, so we'll probably go through and cull some of the poorer producing does and keep some of the younger ones and improve our herd. And then we'll breed more goats up and sell them into the meat market. So this is my creek flat country, and as you can see, not a blade of grass left. Even the poor old gum trees on the creek bank, you know, the amount of canopy they've got. You know, when we were at University of Botany, we called it projected canopy cover. I can't really remember now, it was a long time ago, but you know, you can see a lot of leaf drop, a lot of dead branches. They're suffering too. Even the good old cactus in the middle there, she's surviving just. So you know it's pretty dry when the cactuses start to die. And this country here, we're pretty lucky with this country, because being a creek flat, we usually get a flood every year around November. Don't know whether you can see through the trees, but just beyond those trees, well, a long way beyond those trees, are the Bunya Mountains, and that's the headwaters of our creek. And it quite often rains in the Bunya Mountains. It's a rainforest environment up there, and we then get a flow in our creek and a flood on the creek flats. And we don't even need to have rain, and we can have this country springs back to life. But we haven't had a flood here since 2012. So it's now 2019, you know, that's a long time without a flood on the floodplain. Well, I'm signing off now for the day. I hope you've enjoyed a little look into my life and my farm, and hope you gained some understanding of how this drought is impacting everybody in the agricultural community. Over the next 12 months, I hope to bring you a little insight into our farm and into our farming life, and I'll see you around.